Here is the truth about how to raise your vibration that none of these gurus on the web are talking about.
This is my man, Yala Kanai. Yala Kanai, he takes entrepreneurs on a journey to grow their business.
So I think it's important to acknowledge that, I've spent more than a decade of my life here recently studying some of the stuff that I'm going to share here in this video. I'm talking about reading books, going to seminars, hiring coaches and trainers, learning from really some of the best minds in the world. And so please understand it's challenging to try to condense all that information down succinctly into a short video, especially when we're talking about concepts that can be somewhat complex. And I'm going to do my best to keep all of the boring science and physics and all that sort of thing out of it. But if you do want to go further down the rabbit hole, I'll recommend a great book for you at the end of this video. So most of us probably know that we live in a universe that's made up of energy, and it's really built on duality, meaning for every up there's a down, for every left there's a right, for every top there's a bottom, these sorts of things. We can also observe that the universe seems to seek equanimity, meaning a balance between all of these opposites. A great example of this is the atom. Most of us were probably told that the atom was the smallest form of matter in the universe. Well, an atom is comprised of both a positive charge and a negative charge in equal proportion. Because if it's weighted in either one way or the other, then it's no longer an atom, it's now an ion. Now these atoms make up the fabric of the universe. So a question would be, well then how can anything exist in the universe that's not both positive and negative? But see, as human beings, because we have this gift of perception, we oftentimes only see one side of the truth of life. We tend to experience something and we label it good, and we experience something else and we label it bad. But here's what's really happening. When we label something good, what we're really saying is that we're conscious of the benefits, but we're unconscious of the drawbacks. When we label something bad, what we're saying is that we're conscious of the drawbacks, but unconscious of the benefits. Notice how even our mind is made up of this duality. So notice that a child is like a perfect manifester. I mean, if they let out a cry in a crowded room, everybody will swarm to see what is going on. They tend to get things really quick. But as we continue to grow up over time and we have more and more of these experiences, we tend to become more and more polarized. We have more and more things in life that we say that was good and that was bad and this shouldn't have happened and it should have been this way. We see more and more events, one side without the other. And as we become more and more polarized over time, it's as if our mind becomes more and more fractured, right? We kind of take on more and more personas, meaning all of these different beliefs. Because when things happen in our life, we tend to create a belief about ourselves or the world around us, and then we play out those beliefs over and over again. Most of those beliefs, though, of course, are made up of fallacy because they're created based on the emotions that take place in the mind and the body at the point at which we have become polarized. When we see that something has happened and that we judge it for whatever it is. We judge that it was bad or we judge that it was good. The more that we become polarized over time, the more that we dissipate our energy or our vibration. We become less and less authentically ourselves because our authentic self is really the balance of both sides. So we are all kind and cruel, honest and dishonest, positive and negative, peaceful and wrathful, so on and so forth. In fact, there's about 4,600 human characteristics and traits in the Oxford Dictionary, and every human being has all of them. Would you agree that a child, especially in early childhood, is like the perfect example of being authentically themselves? They don't yet have these judgments about what's good and what's bad and what's right and what's wrong and how they ought to be or should be in order to please other people or society. That authenticity allows them to really move through life relatively easily without all of the baggage. They bounce back from things really quick. They experience lots of resilience. But over time, as adults, as we become more and more polarized, as I was saying, then we begin to really pull further and further away from our authentic self. So really raising our vibration is really about bringing our mind back into balance. It's about looking at things and noticing that it can't be good and it can't be bad. It's really both. When something occurs in our life, we look at it and observe and we say, hey, let me take a step back here from the emotions that I'm experiencing. Let me play with this for just a moment. Let me see, how is this serving me? What can I learn from this? How can I do better as a result of this? Rather than labeling it a curse, taking the time to look for the blessings that are hidden inside of it. Rather than labeling something an obstacle, looking to see what are the opportunities that exist inside of that thing, and really seeing both sides of things. As we do that, we bring our mind back into balance, and over time we begin to collapse these polarizations that have built up over time. As we unlock our authentic self and make that journey back to self, we become more and more in alignment. We raise our vibration over time, and it becomes easier for us to manifest what it is that we want out of life because we are responding to life from our authentic self. We are asking life to bring us the things that are true in our soul of what we want, versus being clouded by all of the polarizations that have happened over time. If I ever had a secret weapon to the success that I've been able to build today, it would be this. That because I know this, as I face challenges in my life and my business, I tend to at least be able to sit back, pull myself out of some of those situations and look at it from multiple angles, to find the blessing in the curse, the opportunity in the obstacle, and also to not allow myself to get overly elated or prideful. There's a reason that they say the pride before the fall. Those who get elated tend to get deflated. And so I don't allow myself to get pulled too high up into pride, and I don't allow myself to fall too far down into shame and guilt. In other words, I'm able to navigate life through this knowledge and wisdom to approach challenges and find the gifts within those challenges so I can begin to move through them, to learn, and to evolve to new challenges throughout life. And if you want to learn more about this, there's a great book called The Breakthrough Experience by Dr. John Demartini. It's literally the best book that I've ever read, and it literally covers probably 60 to 70% of everything that I have shared in this video. So listen, I hope you got value out of this video, my friend. And if you want more content like this to help you create more success in your life and your business, then make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell notification so you get notified every week when I drop more content like this. And in case we haven't met before, my name is Kiala Kanai. I'm an entrepreneur that got started while working in a coffee shop for minimum wage, and now I've gone on to earn over $100 million with my online business. And I only say that so that you know that everything I share on my channel comes from the real world knowledge of the things that I've learned and applied that have helped me create those results, which I share here in hopes that they help you create similar results as well. Go ahead and subscribe, hit that little bell button, and make sure that you watch this next video in the lineup where I'm gonna go much deeper on these topics. I'll see you there.